Welcome back. My name is Roman, and today we'll be taking you on historical development of social work in USA. So the history of social work in USA begins with the development of public programs during 1840s and 1850s to address issues of poverty due to rapid growth, large influx of immigrant populations, and urbanization and industrialization. The effect of progressive movement and social reforms due to mass suffering of the people, the progressive individuals rises in cities to reduce taxation, so to attract businesses, but that means few or no services to the poor because there was no reduced taxes. So those taxes were used to provide relief to the poor. So now the taxes were reduced, which means services to the poor will also be reduced or even cut off completely. So we start with the Charity Organization Societies movement in 1877. This one was founded in Buffalo, New York City by Galton and Humphreys, who was influenced with the charity organizations in London, that's UK. It was a professional approach towards social problems faced by the vulnerable and marginalized people. It's a scientific charity attitude that did not just help people with relief but enabled them to understand and cure poverty and family disorganization and other root causes of the problem. So we see here the people were not only focused on helping people on this, like the symptoms of the problem, but they were more focused on the root causes and to cure those root causes of the social issues or the problems that they were facing. The focus was to improve social welfare, to replace the chaotic charity system with the rational one, which prioritized investigation, coordination, and personal services without creating dependency in people, but to empower them. It played also a role in housing, health, sanitation, and child labor issues, and in the implementation of War Risk Insurance Act and disability compensation policy. Policy making, as we discussed before in our previous videos, is the goal of social work and social workers, is to implement and to influence policies. A concept of friendly visitor was introduced whereby relief agent, especially a woman who would be appointed to each client, who would have empathy, sympathy, patience, and wise to help and comfort a client, leads to the development of social casework method. It focuses in a rehabilitation of families, educating the community about principles of relief and how to end social issues. The Charities Review was published as the first social work publication absorbed into the survey in 1907 and published until 1952. The Buffalo Charity Organization Society led to other offices being built within 15 years in 92 cities. So we see the influence here was very massive or was very huge. Then we'll talk about the settlement house movement in 1886. Settlement homes started in the modern after Samuel Barnett Seton Bill Hill in England, which were constructed in 1884. In my previous video, we've talked about the developmental history of social work in UK, so you can watch that video back to understand about the influence of Barnett Turnbull Hill in England. We see right now in USA, we see the influence of Jane Addams and Ellen Gates Starr, who played a central role in Chicago Who House. The rise of refugees in urban and cities lead to these movements as a response to extensive industries, urbanization, and immigration, which saw more people homeless. So this organization came up to give people homes, to give people shelter. There was also social assistance to the vulnerable people. The employees provided services like citizenship, training, adult education, recreation, counseling, daycare, through group work and neighborhood organizing tactics. We have to know that the employees were usually community leaders and volunteers, not social workers. The leaders of the movement believed that Through transforming and developing neighborhoods, they would be able to improve communities and establish a better society. And also we have to know that the movement saw the roots of social work practice like social group work, social action, and community organization as methods of social work. I'll be doing that video. You will see that video in the next upcoming time. Then we'll talk about the child welfare movement. Children are C8 Society, which was formed in 1853, and the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to the Children in 1875. The movement can be traced back to 1729 when the Ursuline sisters opened a home in New Orleans for children whose parents were slaughtered by the Indians. The focus was primarily to rescue children from deplorable or extremely living conditions and provide the suitable housing and living conditions to the children. So you see here the charity organization societies established to organize relief organizations. Then we'll see Columbia universities offered the first social work in 1898. Then we'll see also in 1900, social work was recognized as a profession, started to work in hospitals, public schools, and family agencies. In 1920s, social work provided aid during Great Depression and World War II. In 1935, President Franklin Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act. In 1955, National Association of Social Work was established. In 1900, also temporary assistance for need family programs was passed.